right there. We're talking about that right there. Cool, man. All right, what's going on YouTube? It's going to be Donnie coming to you from Pinku Style Podcast Studio again. It's got my guy Lex back here. First time for the 23.
What a 23!
Without even getting in, getting too far, man. 23 has been pretty rough. Most notably, a lot of guys have shared it around, and we'll talk about that, and all that stuff like that. But of course, recent passing of Ken Block and actually a few other guys in the automotive industry, man. So it's like, man, they get right into the new year, man, and it is what it is, man. That's life. We can't dwell on it too much, but we got to recognize that what we do. Everybody watching this podcast, we go fast. Lex do bikes, I do bikes now, cars. Like, there's many more opportunities for shit to go wrong. We don't want to think about that because you can't perform. But just be safe as you possibly can be out there, guys. Know your limits. I'm not saying Ken didn't know his limits, but he knew the consequences, man.
I still don't think the circumstances around it is even out. So
it
might not even been something that he did.
Yeah,
I know. Looked at his stories that morning, and it looked like it was a super gray, low visibility, snowy ass day.
Yeah.
So there's a possibility that low visibility, but that's just assumptions. There's nothing's come out about it. So it might not even been something that he purposely did.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. And that's the thing, about, and that's, for I snowboard, and I don't like, I've snowboarded in gray, low ceiling days, but it's like, I like when it's snowing and then the fucking shot this, you can see the sky because you don't got your goggles. You can wear clear goggles. I don't like really tinted, even for riding motocross. I don't like the tinted because I want to see fucking everything. So I noticed I went faster with clear goggles. But anyway, man, that's we'll touch on that later. The reason about this podcast is number 200. Cool, pushing it up there, man. I started this thing now almost 4 years ago, I think. About 3.5, 4 years ago. Started the first podcast, and it took this long to get to 200. So at 200, got my guy Lex here, and this is a special episode because we're discussing AliveHoon. Lex had preview to see the movie, and a few other guys there and everything. And so the movie's getting out there more. The movie to dispel information or make corrections. The movie's been out since June 10th, which was the week before or the week after Top Gun. So the movie was running parallel with Top Gun and actually was standing top 2 and 3 with no publicity. So that speaks volumes, man. No publicity team, only social media. And then I got involved and that kind of kicked it out and everything. So anyway, Lex, man, before we get into it, man, how's everything been recently, man? And how's everything going and all that stuff, man?
Hey, blood, life is fucking good.
Yeah.
I'm busy. I've been doing everything I wanted to. So there's zero things to complain about. It's funny, the things that do happen, like if you say it out loud, and say it with the most condescending, stupidest voice that you can, problems sound so stupid.
Yeah, you be like, nah, let me get off of that.
Yeah, fuck them problems, right?
Yeah.
So everything been great, dog. I've been seeing things and achieving things that I've only been thinking of in my head, and to see the shit happen is like really fucking sick, bro.
Yeah.
So I'm happy about everything that's been going on.
Yeah, that's true, man. Because I got like I had like one buddy, man. I used to kind of like it's only a few people because everybody try to stay bottled up, and you stay bottled up about stuff, man. Like that shit's like it breaks down, it fucks up your mental. What I mean, when you keep everything in. So I mean, we kind of do it on the podcast live when we talk about things and whatever. And then but some guy, like far as business, I talked to some business guys just to kind of see like am I coming correct or blah 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 and stuff like that. And then I got one guy who I'm like, man, this dude's like ignoring me, and I was like, hey man, if I'm sending you stuff and you don't want to see it, just let me know, man. I won't send it to you. He's like, nah, man, I just listen. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Like instead of writing back and giving this XYZ on it, he's just like, all right, man, this I'm just letting you vent. And it's pretty cool.
I feel him. I'm like that.
Yeah.
Like I said, because I respond to every DM, like 100% DMs.
Yeah.
I respond to, because it's really weird. I'm the type that if I see an icon, I don't like seeing icons.
Yeah. Well, that red dot.
Yeah. So I respond to DMs to clear them. So people tell me all kind of shit. I have a guy that hits me up every couple of weeks when times get rough and he's hungry and he be asking me for money and shit, right? But one time I tried to help him out. The second and third time, it's like,
you've been a crutch. Yeah, you got to be like, hey, man.
Because I didn't have nobody to turn to.
Yeah.
Which was the crazy thing. I did actually. I had Pops, but in my head, I'm like, no. Pops didn't want to see me make it, so I figured it, or I went hungry. But I say that to say, I look at every DM, and sometimes I'm just looking to see if you find a way, or I don't respond with a ton of things. I might give a like so that I saw it, and I'm responding, giving you the hey, I see it. So it's shit like that. So yeah, I feel the other guy that you're saying he just looks and and may or may not respond. I'm like that.
See what it is, man. But all the time, we'll get into all that stuff later. I just want to kind of load this up the front for the guys who in the first 2 minutes of the podcast and all that good stuff, man. So of course, guys, are there again? One cool thing we got before we get into it. You guys will see me sharing it around. I'm now an affiliate of XSplit. I've been using it for a long time, so I'll be dropping some stuff in there. So if you guys are looking to do like any multi-streaming, podcasting, anything that requires an image to come into your computer and be broadcast out to people, XSplit is like your one-stop source. So I'll start dropping that stuff in there. Use my code Pinku style for 10% off, man. So we starting to sound like goddamn flagrant now with ads and stuff like that. But I'm gonna keep it a certain kind of way. I'm not,
keep it right.
But I ain't doing no editing and all that shit. Like, whatever. We'll get it. If they start kicking me money, then we can, we can start doing that. But anyway, as you guys see in the background, this is AliveHoon.com right from the actual page. So go there for all the updates and things like that. As you can see, I got it right there in front of me. 6/10. What's that? 6 is what? June? Yeah, June 10th is when they came out. Top Gun, again, I'm not sure, but they hit the same week, either one after or one before. So they launched in a time that was like wow, like you're launching with a Titan, with that and everything. But it still did in Japan. The movie still it never sunk below 3, and then after that, because this movie was not kind of loading up in the front. Guys, see what we talking about. AliveHoon came out, and it wasn't. This is not they don't have a huge budget, but the movie, when you guys see it, you'll think this is a A-list Japanese movie.
I was gonna say that.
Yeah,
the difference between. Because I didn't know that this wasn't a big.
Yeah, I mean, I want to actually talk to Tim to clarify, because I think I've been saying it's not A, because again, there's certain things in there you can see. Obviously, when you watch the movie we'll get into, that you could tell that would not be in a Scorsese film, or that would not be in a Kubrick film. Blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying? Unless they want to do that for the artistic portion to show like this came from a came from a GoPro, which GoPros were heavy in this movie. Outside of like the handful of big cameras they had, because I had the going back. If you guys want to see, check out the I'll drop it in the link. I had the cinematographer Kiyoshi. I had the cinematographer on for AliveHoon, so I got to talk to the cameraman, so it was pretty cool. So you can check that out and go through all that stuff. And again, AliveHoon right here, check it out. There's a bunch of videos throughout this podcast as me and Lex talk. I'm just going to cycle the videos, which are right from the webpage, the behind the scenes, so you guys can go and watch that on YouTube right now and everything. So again, Lex, man, this you just watched it, man. You just seen it a couple of times, man. This right straight up, man. Just hit me with I
have to watch it 3 times.
3 times.
And I'm a request.
Yeah.
I'd like for you to get the cinematographer back on, because I gotta ask him a few questions.
Okay, we could definitely double up.
Because you just put me in on something which I was going to mention later as we talked about this. For all of you drift purists or people that's like, I don't want to see drifting on big budget cameras movie style. The way they filmed this shit was almost grassrootish.
Yeah.
But of the most masterful level grassroots, like it was drones. I didn't know there was GoPros.
Yeah, it was. I mean, a lot of GoPros. GoPros for days.
It was filmed so proper that it was like some of the best independent grassroots flicks that I've seen. But we'll get into it. But
yeah.
I'm just gonna hammer
the excitement.
hammer out a couple key things.
Yeah.
They okay, so Tsuchiya was a creative director on this, right? Or in line. When they go to certain points where it's clutch in, feather, 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 clutch out, clutch in, feather, feather. Like that's super. You and I as drivers, we know that fucking.
Yeah, yeah.
We know how important that is on close tandems. That's a lost thing. They did not have to put that in there, but they like on those parts right there. When he get in close, they're showing the shift, handbrake, they're showing all of these super technical things, but it wasn't done where it's like, God, that's so technical. Like in Top Gun, right? If he's coming in for a landing, he's not going to say decreasing power, full flaps, raising my nose, dropping my landing gear. That's too technical. They just want to see the approach, bong, hit the deck and done. So the way that they did this was in the way that it played the story out. It was a key part in the excitement level of the story. And you were like, damn, they're working behind the wheel. So as a driver, it was like, oh, son.
Yeah, dude, I want to ask you, man, what were you feeling like inside, like during the scenes, some of the scenes?
Bro, some of the scenes, and I might have a different favorite scene than everybody else. Because I've taken an instructor role lately, I've been teaching students at Drift.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I've been teaching students Drift clinics, and I've been very, very shoulder to shoulder teaching my son some very unique things and specific things that'll make him top tier, right? The point when they were there at their little practice course.
Yep. I knew it.
Standing there after he showed him the bounce, and he's watching him drift, and he's standing there, and they're all standing in a line. The way they filmed it was so fucking good because they're in a line, but how they have the camera, dude's in the fourth, he's ahead of everybody, and they're kind of focusing on his face, and he's looking, and it's like,
yep.
All right, nigga, you got that. I'm going to my car. I'm about to press your shit. Go and jump in his car. That's the shit that I be wanting to do. You know what I'm saying? Like with my son. When my son be out there really putting it in, I'm like, ooh, he did that. I want to go. It makes drivers, right? And we're going to get into the movie on the breakdown. So
no doubt.
Spoiler alerts are coming.
Yeah. I'm like I said, it's on the thumbnail. Spoiler. Don't even click on it.
We're just talking about some key parts. As a driver, when you watch this movie is not like Tokyo Drift. And this movie is not like Initial D. This is not like that. Okay? This movie, as you're seeing this, that is real action. Right? Real deal, full speed action. The way that they film this and how you're watching it as a driver, if you don't say, it's time for me to do some driving.
Bro,
I want to drive. I'm going to drive.
Bro, first 5 minutes, I'm like, dude, I want to slide right now. Like right now.
They did it really cool. I was reading because and this is super autonomous. Like this is just organic. I hit Donnie up earlier in the week and was like, hey, yo, fam, I've been seeing you push this movie for a minute, and I had independently on my own been looking on Google, looking on YouTube for some clips and shit. I was like, this shit looks kind of tight, but I gotta see how it's done. Me personally, I'm like, I need to see how this movie was done, yo. And you've been pushing it, so I said, okay, my boy, all right, I know it's in Japan, it's not in America. Can I help you do something to help promote it so that maybe it will pop up out here? Can I see it? Like what, you know what I'm saying? Right. How do we work this out? And that's how, you know what I'm saying, stuff started moving and happening. So when I saw this movie, I did not say, okay, I expect to see this or that. I just started it.
Let it roll.
Let's see where this journey takes us. And I must say, the only gripe with the movie that I have, but you have to tell me if this is authentic, just how these type of people are, because I know gamers out here are not going to be head down, super quiet, super timid all the time. So that might just really be a Japanese thing.
Oh, it's 100%. And the funny thing is,
that's the only thing that bugs me is that dude is like,
yeah. Two other guys actually today said the same thing to me. So that's like the only gripe is a similar gripe there across the board. Even, yeah.
Ooh, hang on my right there.
Bro. That was the 100. So I'm talking. I mean, God, it's so much excitement, man. I got what I want to talk about, but I want to kind of let it naturally happen. We ain't rushing this. Episode number 200. You guys can go back and rewind if you want to see some other shit. But the 199 episodes ago, but and Lex has been on a bunch on. But what I was about to say, Japanese dudes. That is dude. That is, bro. That is actually. I mean, that's actually a couple steps up from Daigo. Like, believe it or not.
I do understand Daigo is don't want to talk person.
Dude, that's across the. There's a few, and I know them, and they're actually the funnest to be around because they're Japanese. They're not acting American, but they're loose. So you can actually go back and forth and bust their balls a little bit if you can speak Japanese, so they won't clam up. Some Japanese don't understand, like just messing around and busting balls. That's just not something they really do. It's either that or they got like this really playful high school type shit, which I don't. They stick their fingers up your ass and shit like that, and I don't. It's called kanjo. They go like this. They come from behind you and. I was like, nah, I don't do that, dude. I'm cool. But yeah. So you probably seen it in the anime and all that stuff. But anyway, this is why I felt good. Number one, going back to GT1, that is where I started my career and liking cars and figuring out why the Skyline costs more than this car and blah blah blah. And the thing is, man, we'll get into it later, man. I'm getting closer, man. And this is like honestly. Let's be. I'm gonna put this up front in the beginning of the podcast. I pushed this movie because I liked it personally. I knew you and a lot of the guys would like it because I'm a driver. I know what we're looking for, and it had everything, and there was no CG. That's the biggest. If it was CG, it would degrade it a little bit, and that's why Chia said he wanted no CG with this movie, or he would not help. And that's some insider shit. He said he didn't want CG involved. He didn't like Tokyo Drift. He didn't like how it turned out. At all, and because
I make sure I say so that y'all understand again. This is not like Tokyo Drift.
Zero CG.
This is not. Yeah, this is the car that got crashed. Naoki purposely crashed it.
Yeah.
Okay, these things that happen actually happen. The jumps, the everything.
A lot of GoPros lost there, right there. By the way.
Oh, so I read up a little bit because I was like before I even hit you, I wanted to find more about it. That's what it was like. I wanted to know more about this shit. What's up? Why hasn't it hit American stores? Why can't I see it? So I've looked at all these YouTube videos. I looked at all this, all the behind the scenes making AliveHoon. I looked at all the 3-4 parts. I looked at all of the shit. I kind of, by the time I got done, I knew what the title song, the soundtrack song was. So you know what I'm saying? I kind of had an idea. That's what made me like, dog, what? Let me see this movie.
Yeah.
Because it was so much shit going on. My interest just peaked, right? You just want to get to it. Yeah, my drive started from GT1, from Gran Turismo 1. I was the kid that literally had those school notebooks. What were those composition books? And I had all the cars written in there that I liked, that I saw around the hood all the time.
As you see my bad. You see right there on the
the GoPro being a hero.
Yeah, so GoPro is definitely one of the so. My bad. Before we get, because I just want to put out some tidbits, man. So this was not. There's there's American Hollywood. There's Bollywood in India. There's what Europe. I don't know what the fuck they do. They just kind of in their own shit, doing whatever. And then you got Japan, and everything is really. They got America got the top level. Then you got your B level. Then you got your few different categories. Japan has a lot of different. And I don't think they classify them as cult or this or this or this or this, but. There's kind of genres of movies for all different types of guys. There's the dudes that psychopath, tendencies. They like to watch certain kind of thing. Then you got the dudes who want to get a girlfriend and they watch romance. A dude that gets friend zoned over and over, and that's why they keep repeating that thing in real life because they consume that type of shit. And Japan guys are very passive aggressive. The movie will show when you guys see it with Lex board up. They're not over. They probably over embellished a little bit, a little dash bit to kind of really make it. But there's dudes in Japan just like that.
The length of the runs is his personality is what you're talking about.
Right.
Yes. Right. But yeah, like I said, the only thing that you can say is like, damn, but it's just these slow-mo shots and going from this camera to this camera set back here. It's the same run, but they gave you the gravity from here and then some in-car, and then they go to another camera here to get run. So just the length of runs, you got it from like different ways. Yeah. Like that under the bumper diff shot.
One thing is I don't know if I just seen Sicky down there, but they had to get some goddamn, like, they're all in the goddamn movie, dude. Because Sicky is big over here, but we'll talk about that later. But GK
Tech was all through it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we'll start this, right?
Yeah.
Because we're Gran Turismo heads.
Yep.
As I said, I was a kid, wrote down in the composition book everything that I liked about 300ZX, MR2, RX-7, Camaro, and 3000 GT.
Right.
Those are my options of cars that I really liked. I saw a lot on used car lots, and I said in my head, I want to buy one of these 5 cars. I went to Gran Turismo, and I would drive all the cars stock and see how I liked them. I would modify the cars, see how they started responding, change sounds, etc. I was that kind of kid that a video game actually tailored what I do right now.
Yeah.
I am a one-to-one example of that.
Yeah.
I'm literally a one-to-one example of that. An RX-7 caught my soul on GT1 out of those 5 cars. I bought it.
Lex Ray does want to point out some things to the guys watching. That's right now in the video they just crashed one of the cars. So as you can see, man, this was no CG. This is all skin in it. This is all skin in the game, man.
As I've looked at this video, there's real
bam!
audio of
I wrecked the car right there. I wrecked my S13 right there. Total.
Oh really?
Total.
Yeah. Hey, look, in this clip, he crashes and you can hear him say "ah," and then you're hearing the fuel pump and then he shuts that off, and then you hear the power he shuts that off, and then production staff comes, then he's like, okay, and he knows that there's a cut, and then you hear them talking and laughing. Yeah. That is real shit, dude.
Yeah.
So, like I said,
I'm surprised they didn't use that though.
Of them, of the engine sound.
Well, actually, no, I'm not surprised. That's the end. Like you see the blue lights, so that they don't want to. They want to make that the best possible. That would have been like maybe something if it happened in the daytime.
Yeah,
they could run that in there to show. Because I kind of wish they would have showed the crash. Well, damn, we did show a fucking crash. I want to talk about this beginning clip. But you know what I'm saying, like, in the other events, because they went off track and everything, and then like that one joint, everybody there you go, GoPro got killed right there. The scene,
smash GoPro.
Yeah. So that one joint where he's at Nico, we kind of skipping it all around. He's at Nico and he went off the thing, which I've done and washed out. When you slide and then the car, you like, boo, I'm just along for the ride. There ain't much I could do, and it just stops right there before you impact. It's like that's real shit, man. That's like real shit, man. So, but dude, yeah, man.
That is a goose moment, like reference to Top Gun. But look, so I'm really that kid, and I ended up with an RX-7. I ended up modifying it, and I stuck to my decisions, and I stuck to that for the past 20-something years now.
Right.
Like I knew to myself, yes, it would be great if I went and bought this car or that car. As much money as I've spent in my cars that I had, trust me, I could have had whatever car.
Yeah, no doubt.
4 cars that are modified, tons of bikes that are modified. Trust me, if I did not have this wide array of vehicles, I could have whatever the hell type of car I wanted, okay? But what I knew as a kid from playing a game, this is what I want. This is what I can live with. This is what I could grow with. So how this movie starts, this dude is just a regular common worker in a mill or whatever. They never show what type of actual, or did maybe
That that's a that essentially what that is a private for the guys who are gonna see it. That's a private that they're all over Japan. My NSX came from a shop like that. A lot of cars, they're private junkyards. Like you can't access it. So what they do is they get the car in, they strip it, and they list it online.
Yep. Okay. So yeah, he's a worker in that, but
Legal chop shop.
He does his work, gets it done, and he lives there, right? And he gets done. There's no commute home. I go upstairs and I game. So he's obsessed with that. Very minimal interaction, even with his coworkers. Which I was like, "What's happening with dude? Like blood mad, autistic."
Probably yeah.
Yeah, but saying that's what it is. So it was like my manager. It's hella funny how, and I'm telling you how my life is so similar to so many movies, which is so odd to me. My management team at my current job, they watch my Instagram purely for, yo, what's Lexus doing this week?
Yeah.
What track is he going to? They will contact me and talk to me about my track day that weekend. It's like that. It's like, yo, he does great work. He knocks it out. When he's done with work, he's really out there doing stuff. So on my Mondays, not only am I getting my shit together for work and getting ready to go to the site, but it's sometimes I'm on the phone with my managers and they're like talking about the key parts of my weekend, how it them hype and all of that shit. So it's funny that this dude is like, yo, I'm straight to it because I'm like that. When I'm done with work.
Yeah.
Straight to my hobbies, dog. I'm straight to it. Bruh, this shit was funny to me, especially when the girl comes into. So tell me, like in the Japanese hierarchy, right? What's the dynamic with the daughters? Like what you just saw, the girl that was standing right there was the daughter of somebody that's very important in the movie.
Right.
So like, what's the hierarchy with like the daughters? Are they, if the father doesn't have a son,
right?
Is that like, yo, she runs it or what? Because
they kind of do the same same thing in America, of course. Fortunately, you mixing all the sex and stuff or whatever, but it is what it is. It's culture and how it's built, and it depends on where you're from. But in Japan, if they got a son, the son is like the son is gonna, once everything goes down and the parents pass on, the son is going to take over and do whatever, and he's responsible for the legacy. But if they got a daughter, same thing. They just like, all right, make more kids and then make a son as fast as possible. He's going to be the dude when he gets old enough. So that same kind of shit, But he got that. But in the meanwhile, you're going to run it. So the daughter, as you can see in the movie, like it's back. If they do a part 2 or whatever, maybe the same cast will come back. But so she's learning how to run the maintenance. She's getting hands on. She's getting dirty. He gave her the thing and told her the spot. So he's OJ. We call it OJT in the military, on job training. You can see in the movie, she's even getting brought up on certain things and how to react and blah blah blah.
She knew the basics of drifting.
Right.
That Acer was her, or I said JZX. That was hers.
Right.
Modified good. She tuned it herself.
Yep.
Whatever, but her driving, because her father is the champion drifter,
right?
But he had the accident in the flick, and he's not driving no more.
Right. So
the premise of the movie is they're a small team,
which is pretty honestly 90 might be 95% of everybody you see out there, man.
And to keep it funky, FD is the same way. Yeah. FD is not as big as it seems.
Yeah.
FD is very grassroots-ish, grassroots level 2, 3 per se, except for like 5 different teams. But she's looking to obtain a driver so that they can get sponsors for the next year, so they can keep their livelihood up. Her father's out. He broke his hip, his leg, whatever happened in that crash. And he can't drive that year, so they have to get a driver. So they don't explain how she finds this kid that plays video games or what her her interests are even getting her to the point where she notices this kid that plays games, but she finds him. The dude that he works for is her dad's homeboy, so that's kind of how she gets right there, and she's pushy. She's like, "Yo, let's go right now."
Yeah, like no time to waste.
Yeah, like
not tomorrow, today.
go now, and everything happens like this, right? So that's why I wish dude had a better personality, because he could have been like, those are the questions I would have asked. Like, hey, yo, Shorty, who is you? How you know?
Like when you get in the car, like after he's like respectful for the dad, like the door closed, like, hey, who the fuck are you?
like, hey, yo, this shit hard.
It's like, you got a boyfriend? She's like,
why you coming to swoop me? Where did you find me from?
Yeah.
And they take off driving, and they driving on a trip, you know. All right, so tell me something about you. Who are you?
Yeah.
Like, where you stand at? Why you swooping me?
Yeah.
You know, what's really happening? Then she starts drifting, and you're like, oh shit, she kind of knows exactly what the fuck she's doing. And still, who are you? So we don't really know how, what, where, why, where's the mama. There's a lot of things that aren't. But then again, in an American sense, people that want drama and want all the business care. But in the spectrum of the movie, who give a fuck? Because nothing matters.
Yeah, because that'll turn into a 6-hour movie if you go. That's Netflix series type things where you bring up the Dahmer stuff. Every episode was a different character and blah blah blah. And we all seen these type of things where, like, you know, this dude's over here in this top part of town getting fucked up, and over here, Walking Dead, for example, like everybody's going through shit. Just they ain't want to stay on camera. So yeah, I think they did. I think they did good. Not going to, like, of course they hit the picture so you can tell she ain't no longer with us. That's a typical thing in Japanese movies. They'll show that scene. They'll have the shrine for the immediate family, you know. But yeah, man, like, definitely. So for me, I wasn't annoyed by them because I know people on my Facebook feed like that who are like that. But when they get into their zone, whether it be judo, jiu-jitsu, dirt bikes, they're fucking the man. Like, they're fucking the man. Like, seriously.
And they show that. That's what was cool about it, because he rode with her. You just saw the clip being played. He rode with her, and yeah, he kind of like, oh, goddamn. But you got to think about it. He's a kid that may or may not have been in a lot of cars aside from driving around with parents and things like that, doing shit. So when she was drifting, he's like, oh shit, he's really holding on, like, yo, what the fuck going on?
The passenger effect. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Then when he got in the driver's seat, he drove around the course. I mean, that's what I do when I'm personally, I'll either take somebody that I know, like when we went to Grange, Apple Valley Speedway for the very first time. I never drove it. My boy Darren went out. He turned, like, we watched videos. I stayed at his house that night before. We watched videos for about 2-3 hours so I could see the Grange layout. When we got there, he drove it. I said, how does grip feel? He said, good. We got good grip. We're on the same tires, right? We got good grip. We got good forward bite. And the track feels cool. I said, is it slick or is it, you know, how's it feel? He explained it to me. I said, okay, cool. If I dirt drop, how bad is it? He said it's a 3 to 5 inch drop in certain places. I was like, all right, cool. That's all I needed to know. Went out ripping. Never fucking dropped a tire. Damn near flawless laps from start to finish, right? So what dude did is he drove around. He saw the course itself. Even though he just was sliding it, he drove it one time and it was like, all right, I'm ready to rip. And he went. I even like how they made him make mistakes. He made an over rotation,
right?
Which is kind of when you're sim racing. When you start drifting on the game, a lot of times the biggest mistake you're gonna make is an over rotation, it's not gonna be an understeer, missed it, went head on into a wall type thing. It's gonna be you went and oversteered in a slower corner, and you spin, and that's the mistake that he made. But then after that he was continued, and then he made a couple more laps with proper execution. So that's when she got hype and even was like, all right, I'm bringing him to my dad.
Yeah, because she had that face like, this nigga.
Yeah. Oh, she's It's like he sucks, but he don't suck.
Yeah.
Like good.
Yeah.
And even said when he pulled up, she's like, "Oh yeah, my bad. I didn't even think about the fact that you might be bad in real cars. If it's too big of a deal, I'll take you back to the crib." She had no investment in him. Then when he went and drove, then she said, "Oh nah, hell nah, cuz that's what's up." So yeah, she bring him to her pops, and that's kind of how the movie starts. Dude's all his time driving on the sim. He gets in there. He envisions a couple of little small things which related to the
I like
Sims.
how they mixed that in, man.
Yeah,
Bro.
he did a couple things that was related to the Sims, and he was off to the races from that point, like literally. So no, but that's cool that you're saying this is a common persona for Japanese characters
Yeah.
because
Well, every like literally every character in the movie, from the top ace driver with his kind of like nonchalant but confident. That's all that they all exist. They're all like they're all, and then like we was talking about Ken Nomura's son, Keiichi. His name is Keiichi Nomura.
really,
Yeah, he named him after Tsuchiya. So he's trying to like he's kind of like, if you, I don't keep up on options too much. You said you're watching it, but he's feeling that, which is cool. Play into it, man. You're dead, and now he can drive. He can drive.
I've been watching. He just mentioned it.
Yeah.
So I've been watching father sons
Yeah.
in the industry, and
give me a few years, man.
I've always been watching. I've always been watching Arito and Maya, right? I've always been watching Mad Mike and his son Link.
They get it.
That's who I'm gunning for, is Mike and his son, and then Naoki and his son. So for whatever reason, Ken Nomura has always been an entertainment piece per se. He's a really good fucking driver, but his entertainment, his character, his persona is always something that shined more than his driving. Now, he has been like runner-up and he's won events, things like that. And he's like, I would say he's a higher tier than Ueno, right? But his entertainment, his persona has always been great. So sometimes when I see Ken Nomura videos, Nomoken videos, sometimes I scroll past them. Only because it's like, it's going to be full of antics. And I want to see him getting busy. And even when he fucks up, he hop out.
Yeah.
Laughing and doing it's like, oh, all right. But for whatever reason, and again, this ties to the game, because on Gran Turismo, we don't have ERs. We don't have ER34s. We don't have any rear-wheel drive Skylines in the game. And I was like, damn, we don't really have RB sounds in the game, aside from the 26 and the GTR. And I'm not the type of person to go cancel the front diff and drift a R34.
Yeah.
So I was Googling R34 drift cars, the ER34. I was thinking of getting the old school Goodyear drift car, the BRs and shit like that.
Yeah.
And this is Nomura's son.
Yeah.
And I'm looking and I'm like, damn, okay, so he must be sponsored by Nomoken. But then on this car it says Ken Nomura, and I'm like, now wait a minute.
Yeah.
The video where him and his dad went out on a twin drift, and he's explaining subtitles. He's explaining his car is a JZ, his dad's car is a RB, his car this, explaining the difference. But I'm like, and then they joked around. He went to go put on his driver suit, and Nomura put on his. So Junior put on Dad's driver suit. Dad put on Junior's driver suit. And it's like, oh shit, because they're the same height too, which is really fucking. So anyway, I gotta check this shit out. I haven't seen none of this, man. So I was locked in on this. Yeah. So I was looking at this like, fuck. And so, yeah, he's a little silly. He's not as silly as his pops, but when he does do shit, it's like, yeah, you're his son. Like, that's wild. But he does play that role of, like, silly dude, but he drives in chucks and he drives fucking gnarly, man. And while his dad's driving all old with a back brace and everything on, you know, Kendall Moore's chucking, and it's like, damn, Pop still got it. Because he's an old man, right?
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And let me caveat in Lex. There's going to be a handful of people who say, oh, this old dude, cancel that shit. Oka-chan is 60-something.
Bad old. Yeah.
Omori-san is he's the other guy you'll see in FD, a bunch of old guy with a ponytail. He's 60s. There's a bunch of old guys. What happens is you gotta work. So when you gotta, like, I'm 39, so that 30 they start a little bit later. So those 40s, late 30s, 40s, they're building their shit up, and then they got the money. All right, resume. That's kind of where I'm at.
Yep.
It's kind of where I'm at.
Same way how my life is went.
Yeah.
And so I appreciate it. So when I'm looking at these dudes with their sons, when you're looking at Taniguchi, right? Yeah. Taniguchi looked very youthful, but he wasn't that young when he won his first championship.
Right.
And same with Arito. Arito's a mad fucking old man now.
Yeah.
He's an old man back in FD Japan start.
Yeah.
In one start when he was rocking the GTA 6 with the cowboy hat and the mother castles on the shit. He was old then.
Yeah.
Right?
RSR joint, yeah.
So now when I'm looking at it, I'm looking at the father-son dynamics. I'm like, damn, that is great. Their sons are taking on the next chapter. They're going to be the ones. We don't have that in America. That's not what we have out here. Because everybody's all for self. That's why I'm so different. I'm super different than a lot of these guys out here. With my son, I will give you all of it. But you have to be as skilled as I am for me to say, no, you got it. I'm not worried about it. Right? So when I'm looking at the international dynamic of these drivers and their sons, Nakamura's kid rips. All of these other people's kids rip. So it's like my son is only relegated to this car for the moment because I want him to fucking rip it. Like how I drive that vert, I drive it like demon time. He outrageously drives it better than me in the wet. I don't get a lot of wet practice. I let him out there. I was like, yo, this is slippery as fuck. Me personally, I'd pack it up, I'd go home. But because I'm here to let you have fun, I don't give a fuck what you do. At that moment, I was like, if he wrecks this car, that just is what it is. Because it was very bad. And I knew that it was very bad, and it was a decision that a father makes when it's like, hey, you know what? He ain't gonna die, so whatever the fuck go on, I'm just committed to fixing it because it was not good. I made a bad tire decision. My rear tires were the dry setup. I didn't think it was gonna be as slippery as it was. Those rear tires did not like it, so it made it worse than it should have been.
The course, is it the hard pack tarmac or is it like the jaggy rock gravel type?
Oh, it's racetrack, very slick, very smooth. Yeah. So it just was not great. And I was like, fuck, I'm looking like an idiot. And so I made some tire pressure changes, got a little bit better, but not manageable at all. And it was just like a shoulder shrug. All right, kid, go have fun. Do your damnedest. And while he's driving, again, like watching this movie, while he's driving and he's getting it and he starts putting it down, I say, oh, hell nah, I'm a driver, cuz. Bring that shit in real quick. I got to get out here. Yeah. And I started nailing runs back because it's at that point where it's like, yeah, I would have put it up and went home, which wouldn't have done me any good. For him, he has to learn everything because guess what he has? Guess the only thing that he has to do is be better than me. That's what he has to do. And I'm like, I don't like to gloat about myself as a driver, but hey,
you're capable,
bro. I'm on it.
Yeah,
I'm on it. So you have to be better than me. When you're better than me, the world, you got that shit, right? So I'm not letting up on you. So to be better than me, you have to still be better than me currently learning and still eager to want to be better. So that was me. I went and started laying down way better runs than he was, but the point was him out there having fun motivated me to go out there and get better, which got me some wet practice that I never get. I know it sounds funny to a lot of people in the Pacific Northwest, in the eastern of the United States, people in Ireland, people in the UK, people in Japan. I'm in California. I don't get wet seasons, and I don't drive sometimes. There might be one rainy day. I don't go out there and drive. Fuck that rain. Because I got, out of 365 days, I have 300 days easy of perfect, crisp weather. Fuck that rain. So I never got rain practice.
Yeah, because this pretty much is bumping up the probability of something happening.
Yeah. Now I know a lot of people. Well, I seen all of your street drifting videos. It's been rain, dude. You know, and I know. We both, you and I, Donnie, we both. That street shit ain't got nothing to do with the track.
Nah,
you know
that's just like some
that shit is like easy. That's why I make fun of people that crash in the street, because it's like, come on, man. That was like the fucking level 1 of drifting. Like, you're in a wide open spot with a place that you can clearly see over. You're not hidden behind hills on tracks. So when people say, I seen you drift in the rain before, yeah, you see me street drift in the rain, not really drift in the rain. So anyway, this was a great day. This is part of like what I'm saying. Life is so amazing. I can watch things happen.
Yeah.
And like, this is fucking great, because my son is really ripping. And this is, and I'm telling you, if I had have made a different tire choice, the tire choice was key. That rear tire made this the worst condition to drive in.
What tire, by the way?
So I have Federals on the front, because I usually have the vert on all Federals. Just shit, throwaway tires, go burn them up, whatever. But I put my rear tires from the white car on that, but they've gone through a session or two. Quite a few sessions. And for me, that could be 20 laps, but I get really long tire life. So putting it on the vert in the dry gets all of that super grippy shit out the way, and now you're just down to whatever the tire's life is left. That means, so out of one tire, I could probably get a year's worth of driving, right? About 4 or 5 months on the white car, 7 to 8 months on the vert. The vert does not run through tires like that. But given the fact that the verts already ran 2 drift days on those rear tires, showing up to the wet, and the vert's not slow, so the vert rips. So you know that real edge wear that you get when you've been on the tire's edge? It had that. And there was grip, there was tread in the center of the tire. That tire was no good for that wet, dude.
One thing I like was when watching like his hand control and stuff like that. I remember watching the when he posted the first video of him on the sim rig, and Yibby's was like, oh, the sim this and the sim that. I'm like, dude, yeah, we know that, Yibby. Like he's like a little literal with some stuff. I'm like, yeah, we know it don't have vibration, bro. Like we know that, but the hand-eye coordination, it's like the same deal. Like your brain is telling you to go like this, go like that, blah blah blah, man. So it definitely, there's some. I mean, it doesn't physics size apart. We know about that, but
the physical, exactly what he's doing with the wheel, the familiarity of him doing this
is better than zero
shifter. That it's literally just like, ooh, let me use this plug-in, and now I feel more, so the drifting's more accurate.
Right.
So say he just got on a Settle Corsa or something on the rig. It would take him 8 runs to do a proper run on the Settle Corsa. In real life, it takes him 3 runs because he has more physical. He got more inputs. Way more inputs. So the fact that he has 8 runs of getting it in, and then after that, he's just run after run after run. He'll be on the sim for like, you got MSP near you, right?
Yep.
He runs MSP on there. He'll be on that thing for 3 hours. It's like, hey, my man, choose another fucking track. Layout, more than enough, right? There's no way that you're learning anything different unless you're trying different And different styles of things and stuff like that. But you've been there 3 hours. You've worn it out.
Yeah.
So now he's understanding what I was saying when I was coming up, saying sim driving, I'm not rusty when I come off the trailer in real life. When I come off the trailer in real life, it's like one run, okay, that's how we feeling today, boom, boom, bam. After that, it's all lined up. So that's what he was explaining. He's like, yeah, I'm on the throttle. I learned where to pump it to get traction.
Dude, I was smiling there, right there, man, because he's telling you like what you already know. What you already know, but he's like you're like what he does. He probably don't understand when you're asking him. Like he's like, yeah, I already know this shit, son. I want you to tell me this shit.
I wanted to find out what he was experiencing, and that's exactly So I'm glad you noticed that. Yep.
Yeah, that was pretty dope.
Like, oh, this motherfucker got it.
Yeah.
I was like, he got it. So then that's when I went out. I said, nah, hold up, B, because you're doing a little too fucking good. So the only thing I do is these unwritten rules. I went out in the car to put my runs down to show him that speed makes it's achievable as long as you've got the control and the grip on the front end with that rear, and then you can kind of glide it around. What he did after I showed him the speed is he went out there and he's aggressive. He's doing clutch kicks in the shit. This little kid, man, I'm telling y'all, watch. We work in silence, right? I do certain things on vlogs.
Yeah.
But this little fucking kid, man, this little dude right here, watch him. He's going to be ripping because the driving style that he wants to do, that he's figuring out how to get from here to what he wants to
do. Pretty much as, you mentioned the animal style and
So you and I are catching up. So all he wanted to do with Winter Jam was ride with Julian and them. Julian and them are like, yo, yeah, come on. They want him to come ride with him because they like driving with me. This is me driving now. They like driving with me. I like learning how they get down because I know how I like to drift. I could drift that style, and then I could try to drift like how they like to get down. My son likes their style of get down. He likes the Nakamura style, right? So for me, he's learning the clinical, the clean, and then putting a little sauce on it. But he wants to get to the
the flare.
It rate to angle, the fucking I have to tell him like, yo, knock that shit off. He'll be in the pits going
yeah.
I love that he loves to
he's like tuning and shit.
Yeah, and he loves to do that while he's drifting too. So when he starts, it sounds so tight when he drifts because when that clutch is in and he's maneuvering it, he's going. So you're gonna start hearing RX-7s. I'm gonna start because the vert sounds very different than my car.
Yeah. I noticed that.
Vert sounds almost musical. So when I start like really putting out Jalen sizzle reels, there's a sound that he makes out of that car. It's like, yo, what the fuck is this kid doing, man? It's stupid cool. So I'm super hyped about it. And like I said, I had to go out there and lay some runs down because he's right there on the fence, right there. He's right there watching me. And I'm just showing him, boom, I'm letting the car rotate, quick rate to angle, but I'm just showing him speed and cleanliness. And when he goes out there, he's doing his fucking thing. So it's like super cool. He is learning on the sim, and he's going and implementing it in real life. And there's not many kids, like we could count on our hands. A couple of the Japanese drivers' children, a couple European drivers' children. But when we look at it, because the social media...
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, Shanahan's, and then you got Witchcom, and
right. But social media brings us the world right here. So we could be like, I can think of 27 people. 27 people out of the whole fucking world, right? We know of, you know what I'm saying? That's a very small margin.
Yeah.
So this is an American kid, which I've had to break a lot of rules at tracks and let him drive when he wasn't supposed to. And these are the ways, aside from the sims, that he got his break.
Like what they say, man. Ask was better to ask for forgiveness and permission. Like let's. He ain't gonna die. Ain't nobody gonna. Ain't
so that's why cool with AliveHoon he got to see there's a fantastic story, a movie. He gets to relate to this. This is my life.
Yeah.
I'm 14, 15.
Yeah.
It's a movie of my life. I relate to this because I game.
Yeah.
I'm on a rig. I'm trying to be as good as I can be because my dad's on me about it. But he's on me of something that I really like
dude,
doing.
he's cool. Dude, that's a adventure right there, man. That's
Yeah.
when they came, it was coming by itself, but he extra.
Yes.
Yeah. And he's not doing this. I see a lot of old cats doing. I had to tell, hey, don't palm. They try to, but he just like, because if you wait for it, yeah, that's straight sim shit right there, man.
Yeah, he goes directions like that.
Yeah.
So it's like I get hype as fuck seeing it, but I'm Pop, so I got to be stern faced. Yeah, you did but let him know, like, nah, you kind of fire. But
is this my bad? Is this somebody in the backseat, or is you just target to the camera?
No, I just got that on the roll cage.
Okay, yeah, because one thing I like when I was watching, I like how he's like coaching himself, like, oh yeah, like he's talking to himself, which is good because that means he's not too disconnected where you know what I'm saying, where you're too tense. Like
and I usually, because he has a phone communication system in his helmet.
Right.
I'm usually on the phone with him.
Okay.
This time I said no, I'm gonna let him do his thing. So I was not on the phone. I did not coach him. I did not give him no feedback. He did not know how I felt about any run. Came in. So when you hear him self-checking himself and like, oh damn. That's really him because he knows I'm watching. He knows my standard. He knows how I drive. So this 15-year-old is trying to mimic his 40-plus-year-old father on whatever experience I have. So that's what he's trying to do. So when he put it together and said, yo, that's it. That's all I needed to do. Like, thank God I finally got the run. That's a little kid that's excited. Because it's not even the fact that you could think about it. It's not even the fact that he's drifting a fucking car that kids his age don't even know how to drive a manual.
Yeah.
He's trying to, in his head, match a flawless run that he saw his pops do in an element he has no idea how to drive, but he's doing it. So that's what you got to see. So AliveHoon, when he watched it, I let him watch it on my phone. He's like, yo, this is fucking dope because that's exactly me trying to be like really good on the game and then getting the opportunity. Because think about it, right? I'm letting him drive my practice car. When I get to the point where I'm like, it's fine, you can drive the white car. He's jumping into what is a competitively built RX-7 chassis. But by that time, he's going to have hundreds of hours in an RX-7 chassis. But this other car is that times 4 or 5. More angle, more power, more response, more speed, more control, more rigid, more cage in the car, right? Sitting lower. It's like, this movie is so tight to me. And you were saying it's going to be a cult classic. I guarantee it's going to be a cult classic.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's going to be because it has all the variables. It's one of those situations where I was just talking to my Alan Newsom, man, where like, you know, we talk business a lot, and it's one of those things where like you, depending on what you say, how you carry yourself, and how your products are, people are going to praise, ridicule, or they're not going to say nothing because like they can't say anything. They don't want to praise your good shit. You're not a fuckboy. So there's nothing to talk about. So with me and my business, there's a lot of neutral because they ain't gonna say shit because they know if they say a certain thing, I'm gonna get with them because that's just my type. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, depending on what it is and who it's about and blah blah blah. Some shit I just let fly because they're cowards and they ain't saying it to me. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I mean? This movie is one of those things where it's undeniable, man. Like they set everything up. Nothing in this movie is unrealistic.
Right.
Nothing in from the old OGs, from the old man driving to the kid coming out the sim to that, because we've seen that proven in GT Academy. We've seen it in the video with the James Dean and the what's the buddy with the Workhouse
Peter White.
Yeah, Peter White sex. So we seen that shit's like 2-3 million views. We've seen it.
Yo,
Like that.
the coolest thing was the what do they call it? It's like the conversation that the OG D-Max driver gave to the young kid. I don't need it to be super long-winded. Motherfucker, you hung with me.
Yeah.
You think you should lose to this nigga?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Because I don't need to say no more.
Yeah.
You hung with playing around in the streets.
Yeah.
Now, real. And you think you're going to lose to Cuz? Yeah, and I'm out. Because there's nothing more for me to say. If you lose to Cuz, that's on you. You know? So that's what was hard. And it's funny because, like you were just saying, people don't congratulate you on shit.
Yeah.
There's this dude in the Gran Turismo group. I was putting up drift flicks, right? And I only really wanted to put a portion of this run up of a huge entry, an aggressive transition, a long dead slide at angle, or a little past 90, but a long slide to a smooth firing up of the rear wheels and then going into a corner, but no corrections, none of that weird shit.
Right.
Dudes say, "Are you on a wheel?" I'm like, "Yes, I am." Because I put up a video with the pedal cam. I did the interior Gran Turismo because I wanted to make it look like a best motoring video. I did the interior of the Gran Turismo where you can see him shifting and everything, but I put my feet as the pedal cams. He's like, "Are you on the wheel?" I'm like, "Yes, sir." Like, you see my feet. And he's like, "Oh, because some people use the steering wheel or use the pedal, but they don't use the control." I said, "Sir, that's a fucking lie, because if you use the control, it cancels the wheel out.
Exactly.
There's no input on the control, and then you double the input on the wheel, then the wheel comes back alive. So that's a lie. That's not what you've ever seen."
Yeah. Yeah.
Miss me with that.
You're right.
Right? You ain't using the wheel. I can show you a video of me on the control. I said, "You cannot. Because if you're using control, I can show you control drivers versus steering wheel drivers.
Oh, yeah.
And you cannot make it look like the wheel. You can do some other fantastic shit, but you cannot make it look as aggressive and the control that the wheel has. It just doesn't happen." But I was just like, just say, "Damn, you're doing something tight." Like, why are you trying to discredit what I'm doing by saying there's no...
You can't do it.
Right. So I'm like, why are you saying there's no way nobody can drift on a wheel that good when I'm clearly telling you I'm on a wheel? I have no reason to lie to you. I don't give a fuck about you. So I'm not going to lie to you about something as simple as what control fucking system I'm using on a video game, dog. Right? So he's going on and on about this in this group. I said, "Hey, cuz, send me $100 on Cash App and I'll prove to you this is on the steering wheel. I'm not about to send you $100 to watch nobody drift on no video game. Just admit you ain't using a wheel and that's that." And I'm like, "No, because you're the type of nigga that ain't gonna say, 'You know what, I'm sorry, I was out of line, I apologize.'"
Yeah.
If I knew that you were that type of dude, I'll just show you a video of me doing this. Because you a bitch ass nigga, I want you to feel it from your pockets. Send me $100 via Cash App. Here's my Cash App shit. I will post you a video. He like, "I ain't doing that shit. You just on the controller and you fronting and blah blah blah." So I was like, I was gonna post the video anyway. I literally filmed it as soon as he said that. Filmed it with the camera, looking at the whole rig, whatever. But I just wanted to fuck with him. Just, "Hey, you bitch ass nigga, send me some fucking money, because you're not man enough to swallow your ego and say, 'You know what, my bad, you're killing it.'" I say, because all you had to say was, "Yo, you're fucking killing it." That's
Right. That's it.
That's literally it.
Yeah.
That's literally it. Everybody that knows me in the group knows I'm on the wheel. They know I ain't touched the fucking controls since 2003. They know. They just know this. There's not even a question that needs to be asked. So when I posted the video and I said, "You bitch ass nigga, where's my apology?" Like, I need the apology. I need you to say, "You know what, you top G, and my bad for," you know what I'm saying? Like,
Top G.
yeah, I'm playing with him, even though I know, and he ain't never responded ever again. But it's just funny to me, like that, like what you're saying. people don't know how to say, damn, cuz if you're doing something, if somebody's doing something that you're like, damn, cuz raw. You know what I mean? Like, cuz raw. He putting in that work. He got something. He doing something. Instead of trying to discredit you, I hate that shit, yo. That's such a pet peeve. Like, so like the antagonist, the quote unquote bad guy in this story.
Yeah, there gotta be one.
He was doing shit that it's like,
yo, but go. Finish what you're saying, man.
Yeah, it's like he's doing shit where it's like, man, you a bitch, yo.
Good driver, but you're a bitch.
And you're a good driver. Exactly. Again, you're a good driver, but man, you's a bitch, yo. Like, let me wash your shit clean. Like, quit doing that dumb shit, B. Yeah. You know, fuck the gimmicks. Let me clean your ass the fuck up. And let's move on about our day, because I'm always down to show. Like, that's my thing. I love that shit, yo. I love actual challenges or rivalries, just as long as it's all in good taste. I'm down to show you I'm better. I want to show you. I need to show you I'm better. And if I cannot, trust me, it's on forever until I can show you that I'm better, right? I love that shit. So when dude starts, what he was doing is he's brake checking on entry, and we know
it's like unspoken rule type shit.
We know how that kind of goes. You're going in on a lead in.
You're very close to that type of deal with Daigo. It's like
lead in, and when you want to start your drift, that driver knows that you want to start it, but to him, he slams on the brake and gives a massive clutch kick, so it's like, and you're trying to stop, but then he's out, and you're like, fuck. So now it's catch up, and that's what the lead driver. That's what the opposition was doing in this flick, and it caught him out at Nico, which was so sick that they used Nico, full of speed, and then he didn't let it catch him in Ebisu. So.
Yeah, so nutshell for all the guys, why like the movie was filmed in like because Nico is about the hour and a half down from Ibisu, so you can actually hit if you timed it and your car ran white, you can hit the Natsu circuit where I crashed my car. So Natsu, Nico, and Ibisu are in a triangle, and then there's actually a couple other smaller tracks sprinkled around there, and then a lot of motocross and stuff like that. So you can hit. Well, I don't know. You can't hit all three in one day. That's kind of pushing it. But you can hit all three of them they're in the same radius. So they were going, hopping to Ibisu. So Ibisu is where the movie was filmed in Fukushima. Ibisu, 90% of it, and then a little bit of Nico. That's it. So it was like filmed in this little bubble right there, man. During COVID. This is all during COVID. Well, blah blah. Whatever. Fuck. This is like, this is right after kind of a little, he's like, all right, cool, you can resume shit again. So, as you can see, the mask here and there, but some people like, fuck it, man, I'm rocking how I'm rocking. Daigo and Saito, which come, no mask. Fuck that.
Daigo ain't talking and opening his mouth any goddamn.
Yeah.
The shit was so crazy. So that's one thing, like, so once dude got good, he's training in the chaser. You can go back to the wing clip, or you guys have already seen the wing clip being played. So he does not know how to drift in real life, but they are explaining things to him, and they're sending him out to practice in the chaser while they're building the S15 back up from the bad wreck that the father had in it.
Right.
So this chaser was actually tuned to perfection. When the D-Max driver shows up, the father's like, yo, go drive it. This driver that he's driving against right there. Father tells him, go drive the car, show him how it's done. He drives it. He comes back in. He tells him, hey, this car's perfect.
Meaning, right? Like, so for guys there who are going to see it, that means that there's no excuses. The camera was off. Nah, dude.
No,
you're off.
Yes, sir. So he drove it a couple laps, showed dude the bounce. He hops out, say, this car is fucking perfect, dog. Who tuned it?
Hey, question, Lex. Did you notice you noticed that you could tell that ground wasn't flat, right? Where they were training at?
Yeah, ish.
No, I had when they were going towards the water. There's a slope down.
Slope down there, yeah. All dock.
So like people like looking at the movie, they probably will see it, but they don't notice like you're sloping down, and if you fuck up, there's the water.
There's not only water, but it was those hard barriers. And I was noticing, I was like, damn, people aren't going to realize that he's sliding at hard barriers learning, which is, you don't want that.
Right. You're not going to lie on that.
You spin it out, and everybody that spins out is always apprehensive of the fact that you can get right on the brakes without locking it, and the car will go and just come to a stop.
Right.
And a lot of people will spin and roll and hit shit. I've seen it a ton of times. Or they'll roll and then skid the front wheels, but that's like pulling the handbrake. And when you're going straight, you pull the handbrake, that fucker don't stop, and it bangs right into the wall. So yeah, it was a lot of key things. Like as drivers, we look at it and be like, "Woo, they doing some wow." Right? But you know, when he told him like, "Yo, nah, the car perfect." So when dude went to go drive it, he went to drive it and replicate the style that he saw him drive it in. And they noticed it was like, oh shit, that kid's replicating his line. That's dope.
Yeah.
But that surface, that area, that location was their continued, that was their permanent practice spot. So they set up a few wooden things that were the height of K-rails and put water bottles on top of all of them. And he had to slide and knock the water bottles off with the wing, teaching him his control on rear outer zones, right? So that scene was dope. When he got it wrong, broke the fuck out the wing.
Oh yeah. Oh, bro, the one thing that I wanted to say, man, I wonder if I can find this because I want to show you guys who haven't seen it. Is when a homie got slapped with the wing in the face.
Oh, the 350Z in Arizona.
What would be the name of something I could search to find that video?
350Z wing hits face. Yeah. Just 350Z wing hits face. So yeah, this scene with the end plate, because they later took the end plate off and was slicing the bottles open. The wing that slapped blood in his face was outrageous. This is the gnarliest thing because it crashes Blood's face.
Yeah, there's pictures of it.
If this is the clip, it crashed Blood, the end plate. If he didn't have an end plate on,
I think he'd be dead.
Open, yes. That car slapped the shit out of Blood.
Oh, it's all external shit. Nobody got the.
There's a still shot.
There you go, right there, right on the.
His face, crazy.
Bam.
Crazy as fuck.
So yeah, back up when you go to a drift event. Like the guy on the track was doing no wrong. He looked like somebody put a bottle right there, like a bottle of juice. And he looked like he was probably aiming for that, which it wouldn't hit anyway because the winglet was too high. But we were saying this end plate wasn't there. Sun be like dead or like a vegetable.
Yes, sir. It would have broken his whole face.
That wing, the end plate deflected is that
yeah. Yeah, the wing without end plates on is very blunt and small.
Oh, he'd be fucking done, man.
Yeah. Just imagine, I don't know, a fucking fiberglass hammer.
Then see where it hit him right in the temple too. So let me see, roll it back a little bit. See, if you look at that picture, if there was no end plate, he'd probably be like, it actually probably would have missed him, but it probably would have grazed like his nose or eye. But that thing would have like fucking
with the thinner part.
It would have like cut the fucking top of his dome off.
Yep, it would have cracked his skull because fiberglass is hard as shit. It would have either knocked him out, ripped his skin white right off his temple. Yeah. But yeah, it would have been gnarly. But that scene just reminded us of this.
And he took that end plate off. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, took the end plate to crack the bottles open.
Yeah.
And as you the water bottles, it does split. It hits it. And it's like somebody cuts the water bottles, and the water bottles they burst.
I did. I won't spoil it, but I did know. What is a spoiler? I noticed that some of the bottles, the caps were like just set on there though, to make that they're a cool effect. You know, Hollywood thing. They just scoot it off and put it right on top, so it make that little splash. But he did slice some.
Yeah, some bottles actually got sliced open.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was cool as shit because what cooler way to get the visual of getting an outer zone.
Yeah.
And a perfect outer zone.
And he had to train for that because that's stuff that you can't do. Unfortunately, you can't do on a. I mean, you can, you're in the cockpit, so you can't really see that. One joint I like, and when they were doing the training on the sim, they were going. One thing I like, man, they did. What I say? One thing I like. I liked all the shit. But the when they went to the dude and they were building the car, and he was saying, "Well, show me your spring rate," and the dude was standing behind, and that was like
yeah.
taking the notes.
His setting. She was taking the notes.
Yeah,
he was over his shoulder,
right.
and he was showing him his setting on the games. She was taking the notes, and they didn't explain it, but it's like what he did on the game has to be converted.
Right.
He'll do something in real life.
Testing,
so
yeah.
they referenced what he was comfortable with on the game. They went and converted that to real world spring race.
Again, showing a proud. Again, hey man, we gotta say it. Forza wasn't in it. This wasn't a Forza joint. There's a reason. There's a reason why. Say what you want to say. There's a reason why, man. There's a reason why there's a GT Academy, and now you got this, and now you got, and the director honestly is kind. I will tell you, man. I talked to the director, man. He's not happy about this Gran Turismo movie because he was like, he feels. I mean, he knows what he put in for the work, but there, I guess, Orlando Bloom is in it, and that's the only thing.
A lot of big names in it, and I don't like the Amelia Hartford chicks in it.
Yeah. That's so they're not going to see them. They're going to see the actor. They're not going to see the movie. Yeah, blah blah blah. But I'm like, bro, I'm gonna cram this down the fucking people's throats because I'm involved with it. I'm a little bit biased, and it's a good product. This is a Gran Turismo movie, dude.
This is a Gran Turismo movie. Yeah, there can't be too much more that you can add to Gran Turismo.
And it sucks. It sucks that we even got to feel like that. If this didn't exist, then we'd be all about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's cool, dude. The fantasy of this is cool.
Yeah.
Because fantasy is so parallel to reality.
Right.
The they were doing in this movie is shit that we do, you and I, we do in real life.
Yeah.
Like, damn, nobody's gonna notice that Shorty was there with a wire brush, brushing the fucking dirt and grime out of the threads on the collars of the suspension.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's advising right there. That's Nakamura telling me, hey, do this, or Tsuchiya saying Tsuchiya, because Tsuchiya, was in it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's like those are things that nobody's catching, or it's gonna glance over people that
the average guy, the casual.
But dude, like when they're sitting at the line with him and Daigo's sitting there revving the fuck out this GR6. And the external dump and the wastegate is blowing flames on the top. And then they look over dude, and he's revving the shit out of that fucking S15. And all his flames are at the bottom.
That looks so good on camera, bro.
That
looks so fucking good, bro.
That's what I'm saying. That scene there,
and the thing about it, everybody who's competed, it's like, bro, that feeling's gonna come right back of you sitting in the seat,
right there,
like you ready to go. Like that's something. That's unfortunately with Top Gun, we had Tommy on. Tommy, he was the only guy in that conversation that knows what their guys are feeling because he's a pilot. So for him, I feel jealous, man, because he's a pro drifter.
Right.
It's like he's a pilot. Like fuck, bro. All the feelings and shit. So it's like, but as a driver, I know the smells, I know the heat.
Yes, that's been in competition. You've sat there, you've pulled to the line, you've not looked at your competitor because you're like, hey, yo, fuck this.
Yeah.
And fuck him.
Oh, you see the dude throwing the middle finger though? That was
at him. But just when you're pulling at the line, and when I competed in Pro-Am and things, I went against Julian Jacobs, Luke Longberger. I went against Matt Kaufman. I've driven against guys, and when I pull to the line, it's like, in my head, his car is hella faster than mine. I have to get off the line. What can I do better that I know that he can't do? Okay, I'm about to do that in entry. Blah, blah, blah. So you're going up. So that focus, what you're looking, and then the dude's like, all right, you ready? And you getting them revs up, because now it's like everything is over with.
Yeah,
it's time to
go.
Do work, baby.
It's either going to work or it's not.
And that shit was hard to me, man. I loved it.
It's like if the alignment's off, it don't matter. If you're low on power, it don't matter. We got to go.
And the typical movie thing, slam it in gear, and you're ready. Clutch in, revs up, slam it in gear. But they do the drifter rally car thing, grab and hold the handbrake and load it. They even showed that. which a lot of people don't know what's even going on. That's why I was like, I love those small things. For real drivers, they're doing so much stuff in there that they're showing you.
Yeah.
Like the toge scene that they just passed by. So the father, he was not with it. He's like, yo, I'm against this shit. You full of shit.
Yeah.
Bring this nerd. He literally fucking nerd in here to drive shit, right? So when he started to believe in him, he go to a closed down toge road. He's like, fucking drive.
Yeah.
And, yo, we're not supposed to be here, so fucking hit it. And go full throttle. Go fast.
He said keep it above 4,000.
Yeah, he told them keep it above 4,000, but when they were drifting, he was telling them, yo, faster.
Yeah.
Like, they're going through, he's like, no, faster.
And then you notice one part when he stopped talking, right? And then he start leaning, because that's a drive. Like, it don't matter, passenger. We know when you G-forces, you lean with it, not against it. So he was like, fuck. And he started going like this. Yeah, it's like, and then they're cool because he was kind of like slumped over, like this motherfucker, he ain't really going fast. There was that. You being a father, I'm a father, man. When he like looked, he get that dad approval, like he got it.
I mean, you ain't saying, you just look like.
No, you know, he had that little laugh, man. He had that little smirk, like this motherfucker got it. We got something here, man.
And he's ripping, he's going, and he's driving toge style. He's adapted. It's not big angle. It's a lot of shallow angle, going edge to edge in the track. When he was after that, when he's over his shoulder, when he's playing a sim, and he's telling him, he's like, you might be a fucking champion in this video game shit, but I'm telling you how to do this shit for real. Hey, yo, fuck that. Rotate with the throttle.
Yeah.
I relate to that because I'm telling my son, quit doing all this letting off of the throttle, steering. Fuck
and
that.
they picked the that little, when he was over his shoulder and he was on Suzuka, that little jump right there. People think that shit. That's a weird. It goes up, down, slopes down, and then you cut in, and it takes that little joint. That's my favorite part of Suzuka. That little come across where the wall's there, and you kind of go up and over. Yeah, it's kind of like Nico.
You can get a tight flick back the other way, go right over the dirt because you graze the curb and go up. And then you're down the hill, back down the straight. But that's when he said, I could bring my son in here right now. When he told that nigga, "Hey, rotate."
Hey, is he there?
Yeah, Jalen's here.
Yeah. Because I know how you feel about it. I want to ask you some questions, man, and everything, man. But that's too dope, man. To have for him to. I was saying in the group before Yibby got in there and went fucking crazy. Yibby is crazy. You already know that thing was going. People was like, man, I had to mute the fucking notifications because it just became his. Because I was like, man, I was going to just send it to him. But I wanted to add him to the group and everything, and it is what it is. Yeah, man, whatever.
Yibby being Yibby.
Yeah, but anyway, but he what did he say, man? He was saying something about I forgot what it was, man. But I forgot.
Wait, told him rotate that fucker on throttle. I'm like, blood, I swear to God, I'm telling I told my son this not even 4 or 5 days ago. And when I told him this, I said, hey, the steering wheel. What's up, baby boy? Come here. All right, so you just saw AliveHoon, right? All right, did you catch the part when he's driving on the sim? What, you asleep? Oh, did you catch the part when here, get in the camera. Grab a squat. So did you catch the part when he was driving a sim and he was telling him, hey, yo, rotate the car on throttle?
Yeah.
Wasn't that?
Yeah, that's something I was learning.
That was dead. What I was just telling him, because what my son does on the sim is he'll go on the throttle and then he'll back off the throttle and be like half throttle.
Yeah.
It's didn't even back all the way off. You'll be half throttle and then he's steering the car like, what the fuck are you doing? Fucking light the back up and rotate it, and then you're just. So that's why I was so hyped to see that it rained and it never dried.
But yeah, Jalen, man. Since I know you just started. Let's see, you didn't just start drifting. You've been drifting for a while, but you kind of been doing the talking me thing off the screen, man. So now that you're officially on the track, man, and seeing the video, seeing the movie, what were your feelings like? Was it pretty much ear to ear smiling the whole time, or how were you feeling watching the movie?
I could say I definitely could relate to like how he was feeling, like nervousness and like kind of just like staying to himself. And, kindness of it. So there's times, I definitely like laughed at it, and like like I guess after the Super D event, I got more confident in like my driving. It's like times where like he was doing certain things that he could like improved on. I'm like, man, like my hand, like yo, do this, like go faster, and stuff like that. So, but yeah, no, I definitely watching that kind of like I could relate to it a lot more.
Yeah.
So it was very interesting to watch it.
That like your dad was saying, man.
They didn't want to drive. That's the point.
Yeah, like your dad was saying though, man. It's like this is like you're literally watching your life on screen, dude. Like it's like what you're in the process of actually doing right now is what Son was doing in a movie. Like right, he was doing that. I mean, he was probably they didn't really mention age, but I think maybe he was like maybe 18, 17. Like I think he was probably and that again, that right there again, we're kind of talking to that guy who's watching and listening. Shinji Manawa's son, 13 years old, fully sponsored by GR, fully sponsored. He ain't no wrecking dudes in FD in Japan, wrecking dudes. So that ain't the whole age. Even if the dude is 17, 16, he's a gamer. Everything that you guys would try to bring and say, oh, that ain't real. Nah, trust me. There's only one thing in that movie that not Yibby brought it up, and that's cool that I want to bring it up. The road closed thing. That actually, all right, so the way the road stuff works, so the guys are watching in Japan, so when you're doing construction on that road, there actually closed sections of it, and where I'm at is closed for the winter because the snow is too deep and it's very treacherous there, so they close parts of the toge off, like there's a barrier there. Like I can go over there and show you right now. There's a block there that says it'll open up in April. Go find another way, Pizza Boy, some shit like that or whatever. So So anyway, that road, when they close the roads are contracted out to certain companies, and the road kind of belongs to them until they fix it or whatever. So what he was saying was 100% true. The dude he owed money to was doing construction on this road. Business guys all linked together. They go drink together. So you'll meet guys and that does constructions and all that stuff. So he got the key from him, like, hey man, do your thing there, don't fuck it up, and give me my key back and everything. So that was a little bit embellishing right there. I mean, the dude wouldn't really give the keys over and then have cops show up and that. Yeah. But that actually is what do they call it in MythBusters? Plausible. It's kind of like it kind of could happen, man. But anyway, man. So getting towards that, man. So like, and you're in the overall, man, in the whole movie. Yeah. What was your favorite scene and why?
I'd definitely say when he's at Nico's circuit and he goes against the dude in that JZX, because there's times I'm driving and stuff and I kind of get a little discouraged if like I do a mess up or like something happens, so I can relate to like like he did good in this lead and in his chasing though.
Yeah, because that was the part of the movie where later on he explains that he wanted to quit drifting because of that. Yeah. That little mistake or mess up, like he had a good run. It was all on the uptick. One fuck up bomb, and he's like,
because even the antagonist dude, man, he's like, I'm gonna show his ass. I'm gonna learn him today, because he pretty much said it. Like he bent down over the engine, but he's like, oh, he's a gamer, okay. Yeah. Let's interject some no reset button shit into this. And that's what happened, man, because they did that. So that's Lex, you can hear me too?
I can hear you a little bit. Yep.
So what they did pretty much on that part was like, that was real. Dude, again, I'm not being biased because I'm part of like the promotion team of this now. Again, I attached myself to this movie because when I seen it, I'm like, I went from that movie theater to my studio and made that video, and I got that thing out within 2 hours of me seeing that movie. So it was fresh and everything. So that's how all this happened, is the director seen I was the first American that spoke on it, and timing is, there's a reason why LZ is popping and other people ain't. Timing, what I'm saying? But yeah, man, I seen this movie, I'm like, bro, Lex is gonna love this. His son is gonna love this, man. Everybody that I know is gonna love this because this ain't no CG. The dude sitting in the steering wheel going like this, because they actually had, if you notice Jalen and Lex, man, they had the the actors were actually driving too a little bit, so they can get that.
That was the thing I was gonna ask.
Yeah. They were doing figure eights.
Yeah. Growing up in the '80s and watched '80s TV show drivers doing this. Yeah. And hella intense.
Yeah, with
right?
the freeway speedway shit.
He knows now. you cannot sell
Nah.
a fake driving scene. It can't happen because you're gonna lean the wrong way, and we're not the ones leaning. That is actual Earth gravity making us go. Like Jalen, the in car, and you see him leaning into it because he's trying to lean into his turn.
Yeah.
But he's fighting the G forces that are pushing him this way. So, that's what I was gonna ask. Were the drivers really did a lot of portions of the basic drifting?
Yeah.
Because I'm like, dude, the scenery is moving in the background properly. It's not like they're on a trailer.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at. Especially when he was learning. After he kind of like recruited him or brought him, he was the dude from D-Max that was chasing. I was looking at the background a lot to see him like what was going on, and I could see it actually moving him.
Oh no, they're actually they did all the guys. They got their, even though they didn't use CG, they're still trickery. Camera trickery is camera trickery. Doesn't matter CG or not. So it's the depth perception and all that stuff like that. So they can show like the reflection or edit that. So I don't know, because people say, well, they edit in a reflection or whatever, but that's not CG. To me is like green screen. You know what I mean? Yeah. Shit that ain't there in the background being there by the computer. Nope, nothing was put there. And so the dudes, like, they had them go out there and, like, maybe they would do a figure eight. And the figure eight you can chop into look like you're going, because the wheel is that way, you're drifting. So all they had to essentially do for these guys is have them do some wide figure eights. And then that's all they need to simulate when you're at least sideways for at least 3 seconds of that figure eight. Bam, I clipped it. That's not CG. That's editing. That's editing. So, I mean, they were actually driving, man, to get that full lock, pull e-brake, gas on, because it's hard. Nakamura, of course, you notice when they will pull back, and then for example, in the Chaser, that was actually Sumika, Sumika Kubikawa. She's the winningest women in Japan and everything. She's actually going to come to America. I talk to her frequently, so she was doing a lot of the chase stuff, and then they were like side by side. So Nakamura was driving, and then she was in the passenger seat. So there was like they didn't have the actors in the what I mean, for the whole thing. But yeah, there was there was some points where you can't really, the actor has to be in the pocket. Tom Cruise has to jump off this cliff. We got to do that. So yeah, man, actors were getting busy, man.
Hey, what was your favorite scene out of the movie?
Probably when he beat the dude that made him discouraged at Nico.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was probably the good part, because I mean.
All right. Question for you both, man. What do you both think? And you answer individually, man. When he said he had a favorite, what do you think he asked him?
Yeah. What happened?
He said, "Wait, can you repeat that here?"
When he after he beat him, after he ran through the after they had their battle, and then the dude threw him on the ground when he was being like a little dickhead. What do you think he? What favor do you think he asked him? Because I got a few different theories.
So here's the theory that I think happened. He got that email. He knew, I want to go play games. This is dope, and I do want to keep doing this, but I don't want to leave this team out to dry. They're my family. I fuck with them. But I have to go knock this shit out real quick. This is why I think sequel setup for this is very easy, any direction.
Yeah.
So what I think he told him, because what he's referring to is he walks up and says, "Yo, I need a favor." I think what he told him, because in the beginning, dude's there having a meeting to get on the team. He talking about this money shit. They're grassroots drivers in Pro Series. So they're like, "Yo, no, if you win, we can pay you a little bit of this, but other than that, it's free. Can you do it?" He's like, "Hell no, I got a good job offer for some bread." And the broad that you see drives in the GTRs, he's sitting there dressed up with the ponytail. That was his boss, his team GM or whatever. She like, "Yeah, it's all about the paper if you win." He wins, he gets breaded out. He's all about the bread. What he did as he's standing there at Ebisu watching Cuz that he knows is driving for free whoop ass after he beats him, I think he walked up and told him, "Hey, my guy, I just whipped your ass. Be a good one. Take the driving position." Because you know what, I was tripping at the end. We could jump to the end. Is that him in the garage with them when she's looking up to see that he won the sim race?
Yeah, that's him.
Okay, so this is what I think happened. He walked over and said, "Yo, I ran you a fair one, right? You caught fade. Now, don't be no bitch. Take care of them while I go do this. You drive for them, and I think
and I'll be back, son."
If they run a sequel, it's going to be a 2-man team. Think. That's just what I'm thinking. Or because they kept saying overseas and abroad. Or one stays, does D1, one comes to America, does Formula D. Right? Could be dope.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because me personally, my team battled motherfucking Masashi Yokoi and that actual D1 car. So you know what I'm saying? Where else can the movie go besides the season or to FD?
Yeah.
Right? So that's what I think was said. Like, don't be no bitch ass nigga. You should have been part of this team, but you was thinking too much about money and you lost. And now you understand that you're fired, you're booted, and it's really not the car, it's the drive, it's the feeling, it's the whatever little sappy shit they feel like making it to be. But that's what I think that conversation was about. Just my thought.
Yeah.
Because the movie dude's in the garage with them. Because that's why I was like, is this the same cat? I wasn't really tripping. You know, because he's all humble and in the monkey suit working on the car with them. The main thing he was telling the boss lady, man, these niggas better do what the fuck I tell them to do. You know, fuck what they talking about, what their input is. Now he gets to see, and he stood there at the wall and watched him drive, and he know that was a small little group, and it's just driver. And as he sat at the wall, and on that last run of this run right here, he looked and was like, God damn, like he putting in that work. It's just about the driving.
Bro, man, I'm just getting chills just watching that scene because of the direct man dude. Like, you know, and I met you. It's pretty damn cool, man. You know what I'm saying, to befriend somebody naturally, no gimmicks, no nothing. Like he respected and seen what I did and seen my shop. I respect his art, and then we just bam, like we're collaborating. We talk frequently. He's been in my shop multiple times. His son, the director of the movie's son is in Boston. He's doing school in Boston. Dude's 100% English, kind of has that weird, awkward Japanese trying to be an American. So he came to the shop. He said, "Oh man, this is cool." And I'm like, he sound like a white dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, straight up, you know what I mean? You know, typical. He sounds like he's in Boston doing school there, so he's in an exchange program, and he's pretty much American dude. Same. So he came in the shop, and normally Japanese to wait before they they'll wait until you say Dozo, you can come in. Yeah, even though you invite him in, he open the door, he just straight up, "Oh man, the Sims are cool, man." I'm like, all right, so I just started, I dropped the half talk, and I talked to him like an American, no broken, and his dad was right there. Funny shit, man, and he might post it. We're talking, and his dad, dude, like you could tell, like it's that weird thing where his thing, he's a director, right?
Yeah.
So we talking, dude. Not even 10 seconds, he got the camera out, and he's like panning around and shit. And I'm like, this.
He's getting ideas because he just saw
right,
something.
And I didn't break. I kept talking. I didn't look at him as I kept talking, and because I know, you know. Also trying to tell him, like, hey man, if you want to do this, you know what I'm saying, I can ignore the camera and shit, you know what I'm saying. And so, but yeah, he start panning around with the latest iPhone, all like 8 cameras on the back and shit, and we're in the garage, and he's like this and like that. I'm like, that's what he does, man. He sees the angles and the lighting, and that's what he. And bro, I really, he doesn't speak any English, but I really, dude.
When I read the shit, when I read it and they said they were filming, and then the cinema guys got in the cars for a ride along, and when they got the ride on, they said, "Hold the fuck up, we gotta film a whole different way." How we were planning on filming this, that's not it. And so obviously they hit the mark. Like, look at that shit. That looks fucking tight, bro. Just
that scene right there. I unfortunately my car broke, but I seen that in real, like the night that the event I did in Osaka. I was leaving. I'm like, man, I got a 12-hour drive back. We're gonna get out of here. But dude, that scene, that nighttime gate shit, like that is dope as shit looking, bro, in real life.
Look how they just sold you just the entry.
Yeah.
Only the entry. They just sold you the roll up to the gate, staggered camera angle so that the cars look staggered, but they're lined up. They sell you the run up from the drone. They sell you the shot from the stand watching the flyby. Then they switch to a camera infield watching you come down. Like, they sold it in so many different angles. That's the way you capture drifting.
Right.
So drifting is such a short run. What's that, a 30-second run?
Yeah.
You have to sell the dope angles. The drone and the drone pilot did dope shit, because one of the pet peeves I have with drone pilots is they'll rotate and spin the camera when or the subject gets out of frame. They twirled it above the fucking car in full frame and made it was like a section that was bland, but they were still drifting. They made that shit look hella dope, because it was just that little element of that rotation made a straight line skid look hella raw.
Yeah.
And those are the things that I'm like, man, they did a great fucking job with capturing it how we would capture it grassroots. Like the vlog that I made with Jalen, where I had a GoPro hanging through the gate, but I also had my camera on my phone going, and I captured that. And I didn't even choose to use the GoPro through the gate. That's out further. That would have been a closer shot. But no, just the way that they filmed it was exciting, was grassroots style, was entertaining. The way that they chose to pull their clips, that important stuff that they're showing, the steering going into these corners, that shit was just great, man. Really great way to film the movie. Like, we can give y'all spoilers.
Yeah. I mean,
like,
yeah. I mean,
it's like the second you get this opportunity to see this movie, it's instantly going to become one of your favorites. Like, we grew up with a culture that got built from...
Well, my bad. On that real quick, because that's what I was thinking about, wanting to say before, because you just triggered it. I think it's going to be a certain type of dude. Like, we're in that era, and I remember having when I had because it's fun. I mean, they just said it straight up when I had we had Love on. And we had Hearthstone and Power on. It was like, yeah, I really my dudes was like the Tanner Faust. That's who I grew up watching. So the dudes who are now in the ascending the tops of FD, they didn't grow up watching Tsuchiya and Taniguchi, and they're like, all right, yeah, cool, but we doing this shit in America, son. I don't need to go outside of the borders to, you know what I mean? So I think it's gonna take a FD version of this probably to kind of get, But at the same time, I think because they're drifters, they're going to watch it.
Right. Yeah. Well, no. So this one will relate, right?
Right.
How many kids and generations of drivers do we have right now that came up off of Initial D? Like, even if you think about it, we're part of that generation that came off of Initial D.
For sure.
So you got us, 10 years under that, which is 2000s. You've got 10 years under that, which is the 2010s, and then you got 10 years under that, which is the 2020s. Right. They all know, well, I can't say 2020.
When your son was born in, what year?
He was born in 07.
07, so yeah, it's crazy, man. Fuck, 07.
Right, so we got 25 years at least of kids that are into car culture that came up off of one of the Fast and Furious, Gran Turismo or Forza, and Initial D. These are their three things that they know of Japanese car culture. Let's just say drifting culture, because nobody knows Forza for gripping.
Right. Yeah, straight drifting, yeah.
It's purely I'm on there to skid and modify cars. So the drift culture is led by Assetto Corsa, Forza, Initial D, and some kind of Fast and the Furious, whatever version they came in at. But for these kids that the 2015 and below, right, They're going to be, in 2030, they're going to be 10. This is one of their movies.
Yeah.
This is one of the movies that's going to, like, you and I know, we had a movie when we were kids, like, let's just say for my all-time, Top Gun is there. Right? But I wanted to be a pilot, but I knew it was a slim chance of me being a pilot. But that was just a lofty goal. Like, I would love to be a pilot, and Top Gun has inspired that. But the most realistic all-time, this is my shit movie is Rad.
Oh, yeah.
Rad came out. All rode bicycles. We all jumped dirt ramps. We all thought we were BMX gods of the earth because of the movie Rad. But Rad was a normal kid that went grassroots to the pro circuit, and that was the key phrase back then, the pro circuit. Yeah. Like, we were saying, part of the pro circuit, because that was Rad. Rad gave us aspirations to be professional BMX riders.
Yep. That's right? Where I got the that you see the scene right there? Yeah.
Yeah. That's where we got our influence. This right here.
The wheels right, you got the diamond.
The starting line with D1. This right here was where we said, I know I pedal faster than everybody else. I know I take corners better.
We had the number plates in the hood too.
Yeah, in the hood we had the number. Bruh, I'm telling you, in the hood, what bike life started from in the 80s, 70s, and 80s was BMX culture. Yeah. All the kids that's in the hood on the streets with dirt bikes, they are doing it because their OGs did it. The OGs did it because of this. So look, this is what started bike life culture. Yep. These BMXs. We in the hood, we were the grimy cats with our actual school clothes on with pads on or whatever, or what we called our play clothes. We wanted nothing more. You got me?
Yeah.
Okay. We wanted nothing more but to get one of those bicycles jerseys, one of them motocross jerseys, one of them BMX jerseys. That's, man, the cats that had bread in the hood, they had their mom and pops go to the BMX shop, to the Schwinn shop.
Yep.
Go get one of those jerseys. Because when I pop back out this weekend with the homies on the bikes, I want to look like this. Rad is what did it, right? But they're not making movies like that no more. Everything is too top tier.
They need a remake of it. Well, it's like it's. Yeah.
But everything's too top tier, right? Everything's too balling. Niggas don't want to be regular and ride bicycles. They don't want to be regular. They want to be balling, right? So it's too top tier nowadays. The video game is the bicycle, right? The go outside and play doesn't exist no more. It's going to your room and getting online with your friends. The go outside and play was done in 2005.
Yeah.
So you don't get a gang of kids. Motherfuckers get mad at all these kids on bicycles riding in the streets. How are you getting mad at them? When I'm at work and I run up on a pack of kids in the streets doing wheelies, I block the niggas. They know they got my lane. Y'all got it, young folk. Get in front of me. Let all these weirdos just want to run you the fuck over because you're having fun. Because this is what we did. We took the whole street up with bikes. Right? We took the whole street up. So motherfuckers nowadays want to get somewhere so fucking fast to do what? To sit on the couch and talk about your night at the club with your homegirl and all that other dumbass shit. Right? They don't go to school. This was so over the fucking top. Your school dance with your BMX in there performing. Nobody know what the flat.
Yeah, they know that
you already know the flatland routine.
Fucking MILF right there, man.
Rider, but you had to have some flatland tricks, bro. We knew this in the hood, but this is where we got it from. So where the kids get it, drifting is as mainstream as BMX riding was back then. Drifting is the new BMX riding. There's really only two action sports. Keep it real. Motocrossing or motorcycle. Well, we'll say motocrossing because motocrossing is pure action.
Which kicks off tomorrow. Kicks off in Anaheim tomorrow. What's today? It's Friday, right?
Well, it's Friday for me, yeah.
Yeah, so tomorrow, which, a few hours from now, Anaheim kicks off.
Because MotoGP is top tier. It's like Formula One.
Mm.
Motocross is the action sport. Drifting is the action sport. Formula One and MotoGP is just too upper crust. It's too much. You look at that and say, damn, that's aspiring, but those are top tier.
Mm.
Motocross, you could feel like you could go to the dealership, buy that damn YZ125, YZ250, and I'm going to get somewhere. I'm going to go get these corners and these jumps in. I'm going to learn how to fucking bang off of the flat and preload as I come up and get this jump. And I'm not going to case shit. And once I get to the point where I'm not casing shit, I want to go see what's up.
Right.
But drifting is that for cars. But the game, the console, the sim racing, the driving, that's to go outside and play. So our kids have that game. You know, you and I both know. We've talked about it. I've told you who has said, and this was a couple years ago, because I'm telling you, since 2003, I've been telling fools I've been on a steering wheel playing Gran Turismo since 03.
Yeah.
That was the last time I used a controller to play that game. I forced myself to, because I used to get on the wheel and be like, ooh, this is hard to get back on the controller. No. I took it serious and said, F this controller. I'm playing with just the wheel. That's it. Since 03. And then when I did that, I was doing track days and everything just started to go up and up and up and up and up from 03. When I used to tell my friends that are pro drivers, this is what you should do if you don't go and spend the money to go drive for real every week. Dude, and they used to tell me, yeah, the Schwinn is clean. Yeah. They used to fucking tell me that's bullshit. That does not simulate what we're doing in real life. But yes, the fuck it does. So now, quite a few years later, some of those dudes are on Sims.
Yeah. And those are the dudes when the Corona kicked off. He's like, hey, so now you're on a team, and then I seen, shout out to Jelani, he sold his shit. He's like, and they're like, yeah, well, Corona's over, we back in the real shit. So who want to buy this rig? So I've seen a couple. My guy David Bellamo, I'm not sure if David rips it up on the East Coast, and he fucking went crazy, man. He got laptops controlling this, and he's fucking got a NASA ship. He just went nuts.
Bro, I used to be in the pits looking over at Dai Yoshihara's team and Cyrus.
Yeah.
Cyrus is one of the top, globally, is one of the top Gran Turismo drivers, but he's Dai Yoshihara's pit crew. He just went to Monaco for the fucking finals. He's a dude. Now, we're not sitting in the cut and just like, I look over there and I know you play. Hey, what's really shaking?
Yeah.
What's up, boy? I know, I know, we know what's up.
Yeah.
Jonathan Castro. I don't know if he still does it or not because he's a lot old. He's getting older, but we know these dudes that when Jonathan Castro was making leaps and bounds as a driver and looking super impressive, he was playing Gran Turismo specifically a ton.
Mm.
Some of the dudes that are phasing out are some of the dudes that did not adopt sim racing, and they don't drive weekly.
Right.
You have to do two things, either drive weekly or sim race.
Mm.
Those that shun driving weekly or shun sim racing,
that's part of the ego part where, I was talking to a couple guys and I mentioned this, it's not secret, or FDJ 3 is coming up because FDJ 2, there's guys there that don't belong there. We know a few guys, and I've actually told a couple of guys that your buddy should go down, step down, because I'm like, I know he's going to speak to him, and it's like, he ain't my boy, so I'm like, we already know about, we already know what that's about, but I'm like, I'm going to do I'm like, he was like, well, why are you going to do FDJ 3 if you got pro license? Yeah, I got pro license in 2015. You know what I'm saying? And I've been focused on my business since. And I mean, I've been drifting, but and I know, man, you don't just rock up at Irvingdale and put down a fire lap. You just don't do that. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, you can put together a safe lap.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
ain't put fire lap.
Yeah, you're not gonna just do that off the, not competing, and that takes a, and I mean, not saying I can't. I mean, obviously I can drive, but I know what I need to be doing, and also outside looking in, it's more, you're actually setting the tone and setting an example of like, hey man, ego is ego, but don't be fucking entering these events for $1,600 and then you just get knocked out in top 85.